Métal Maniaques, le podcast de Christophe G, les métalleux tripeux d'horreur.
Métal Maniaques, épisode 50. Hey, mesdames et messieurs, chers followers, merci d'être là. 50 épisodes, donc le 50e pour débuter 2025 du bon pied. Malgré ce qui se passe en bas de nos frontières, ben on a justement une belle bande d'Américains crinqués qui viennent nous visiter le 2 février. D'abord les chummies de Municipal Waste, hein. On a déjà eu Dave Whitty sur le show, on a déjà eu Ryan Waste, on a déjà eu aussi Nick Poulos. Puis ben ils vont ouvrir pour nul autre que Kerry King. Kerry King, euh, guitariste émérite de Slayer. Juste vous montrer le magnifique œuvre d'un autre Metal Maniac, hein? James Bausma, qui a fait le, le magnifique démon dans le sleeve de l'album solo de Kerry King. Kerry King, Slayer, indissociable. Slayer n'existe plus, hélas, à part peut-être quelques shows réunions, mais Slayer va toujours être dans notre cœur de métal. BJ McDonald, petite pensée, bon, le réalisateur des clips du Repentless Killer perdu sa maison pendant les incendies à LA qui sévissent toujours et encore. On le salue, on lui souhaite de se rebâtir rapidement. Mais si on retourne à Slayer, Hunting the Chapel, tu sais, sérieux, on se tanne pas de Slayer, Raining Blood. Tu sais, Kerry King, même s'il est en solo, il nous fait encore des classiques tirés de le vieux stock de Slayer. L'album, son album solo se défend. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui disent, oh, c'est Slayer Light. Le chanteur Mark Osegueda, qui est dans Death Angel, chante en tabarnak. Donc, quand j'ai eu l'opportunité d'avoir Kerry King sur le show, malheureusement avec la caméra fermée, mais c'est pas très grave. Il était très sympathique, vraiment. C'était la deuxième fois que je pouvais avoir une conversation remote avec lui. Donc, vraiment, belle jasette de deux tripeux d'horreur. Donc, pour lancer 2025, je vous donne ma conversation avec Kerry King. It's so great to have another conversation with you, Kerry. I hope you've been doing great.
Yeah, doing good. Working's good.
Of course, of course. You have, an Australian trek coming up and South American dates for 2025. But first, you have to do this big headlining tour in North America with the great Municipal Waste, band that I love. And I'm really happy you have also 6 Canadian dates during that nice North American tour, including a date in Montreal at the great venue, which is l'Olympia. It's like 100 years old venue. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it. A lot of metal bands play there. So I was wondering, what can we expect from a headlining show from the Kerry King band?
Well, it's as long as I've been in this industry, which is a very long time. This is a new band,
Yeah.
so it's it's going to be what it is. It's going to be seeing a up and coming band in a headlining slot for the first time in North America, which is very cool. But it's just going to be us up there. We're going to
Mhm.
have a light show. We're going to have backdrops, and I'm not even sure what else we have really because I haven't gotten that far. But
Okay.
it's gonna be a intimate show.
Hmm.
People are going to be close. We're going to be playing.
Yep.
You know, entertaining all the people,
Of
and
course.
everybody in my band is looking forward to it. So it's going to be a great time.
Oh yeah, that's that definitely. I'm sure people are eager to see you because a lot of people they went to that Lamb of God and Mastodon show, but that was only like a teaser of what was coming for you. Do you have anything stage on the stage plan like pyros, or you're not there yet, or?
Yeah, pyro. I would love to have pyro, but pyro's too expensive. uh,
Yeah, maybe the second
hopefully,
tour.
hopefully after this run,
Yeah.
by the next time we come through on a headline, we'll be in a bigger place, and maybe have more of a budget for that.
Hmm.
Uh, anytime pyro is an option, I'm going to take it just because that's where I've
Fire.
been
Of
for the
course.
last 10, 15 years. And
Yeah.
rather than any other thing on stage, I
Hmm.
like pyro. It goes with my music. So
Oh yeah.
you can count on that at some point in the future, but on this run, no.
Okay. No worries. We don't need fire. It's cool, but
It
the
just
music
it's just
comes
extra,
first.
it's
Yeah,
icing on the
exactly.
cake.
Exactly. So I remember when we last spoke, you were kind of not surprised, but really happy about the way the crowd cheered your performance, even though it was pretty early, in the night, and as if it were you were headlining. So I guess you must be really pumped about, getting all the fans that didn't went to those stadium shows because a stadium show can be sometimes for some fans a bit dry, a bit cold. So smaller venues, more I guess warm, like fire. Are you excited to play in those small places?
Sure. I'm sorry, dude. I've been fucking clearing my throat all day. Um, that's it's intimate. That's the people. That's ground zero. That's
Hmm.
that's the people that want to be there. That's the people that I'm getting paid to impress, and I plan on impressing the shit out of them, so they can't wait to come back to the next show.
Yeah, that's awesome. You also have, I know you told me you have a lot of songs already ready for a second record. Can we expect to have a few new songs in that set?
No, no, I
Not yet.
haven't worked on those to the point where anything's close to being ready. It's probably about the same that it was last time I spoke to you.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Uh,
been touring, been out playing gigs. I probably have more ideas that I need to work on with Paul, but I haven't graduated anything from the last time I spoke to you
mhm.
towards being finished. So even though those songs might be done musically, I haven't started working on lyrics for them yet.
Okay. Okay. And can we expect you don't have a date, a year yet, like next year for a second record, or it's not in the already?
A loose calculation, I'm thinking as soon as the tour one, or I'm sorry, the record one touring cycle is over,
Hmm.
Paul and I want to go right in and start recording. So the way it looks right now, if I had a crystal ball, I'm guessing KK is going to be touring till at least the end of this coming summer.
Uh-huh.
So first recording window would probably be fall 2025, probably for a
Okay.
2026 release of some sort.
Okay, no worries. We'll be patient. Yeah, also, you were thinking about maybe having a new music video to be posted like in early 2025. Is that still in the cards?
So what is um did Where I Rain come out yet? I think it did. I think that was the next one. I think Where I Rain was
Oh,
going to be the next one.
okay.
And I think that came out, but I'm so out of touch. I don't even know.
And what about you were talking also about maybe an expanded edition of from Hell Arise with some demos with Mark
Oh, I'm
singing on it?
sure. I'm sure there will be what do they call that, the bonus edition. I think the
Uh-huh.
record company's been talking about that. We talk about content for that all the time. There's so many things you can do, and we have a lot of things to include on it. So
Hmm.
um, without giving anything away, because I'm not sure of what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's definitely going to be this year. There'll be a bonus or
Okay.
extended version, whatever.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see, for fans like me, it's always fun to hear the raw versions, demo
Oh yeah,
versions.
dude. Yeah, I remember when I was tape trading 40 years ago. and sometimes you like those better.
Oh yeah, because the energy is, it's there. It's like it's just spontaneous and just the crunchiness of things like that. And tape trading. I wish I was doing that back in the days. I was doing it with my friends, but I wasn't that fluent in English, so I didn't do much tape trading. But
I did just a little bit, because I didn't have a ton of friends, and I didn't want my stuff everywhere because we were doing a record. So,
mhm.
it was kind of weird for us. But I still got some of those cassettes. I have no idea whether they still play, but I definitely want to get those transferred digital for sure.
Oh, you should. And I'm a collector, so I collect all tons of stuff and those tapes, I still have my tapes that I had when I was a teen, and I'm still playing it on the a boombox that used to be my wife when she was a teen, and it's just connecting with the physical media. Nowadays, kids, it's a playlist, it's in their phone, and I know you put a lot of energy in putting out a really cool physical release like this great vinyl with art from James Bausma inside. So I was wondering that piece of art, the one inside from James Bausma, did you give him some pointers or do how did it work for that visually with your input or not?
Yeah, yeah, I met with him a couple times.
Ah, great.
Um, and
It's from
usually,
Vegas, right?
yeah, usually in that scenario, I will, for instance, give him a title, give him lyrics to a song that I want him to get inspired by. And I'm pretty sure that's that. He took the From Hell I Rise concept, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the image he came up with. And I remember seeing it along the ways, and I probably suggested a couple things. But I like to let artists be artists because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm a musician, and that's what
Yeah.
I do good at. You want me to draw something, you can put it up in a grade school art contest, and I'd probably lose.
But you're a writer as well, you write lyrics, for
Yeah,
for
sure.
that record you wrote the whole thing and you wrote, a lot of songs from, your old band. So I guess sometimes the inspiration came from horror films. So is that inspiring to you, horror films?
Yeah, I like horror films. Me and Rumor go way back.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
but yeah, horror films. I mean, everyday life in society. Society's
Yep,
it's really a horrible place. You think about how people treat people, even here in America. There's racism in America.
I
There's
know.
all kinds of nonsense. There's idiotic wars going on in different parts of the world. People do not treat people well. There's a wealth of anger and
Hate,
inspiration just in everyday life.
totally.
And if something inspires me for some particular thing, it might show up in a completely different idea of a song. I'll take that idea and just manipulate it to where it works for me in whatever medium I want to put it in.
So, I was wondering, what scares Kerry King? What's scary to you?
Um, these days, World War.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Uh,
scary.
yeah, yeah. If that happens, what do you do? Go hide in a bomb shelter? I mean, there's really nothing you can do. There's no retaliation. There's
No.
no there's no talking it over. It's just there. So, I mean, beyond that, I think I can work my way out of most given situations.
But, in a movie, what scares you? Do you get scares anymore?
Nothing. I mean, I might jump because
Yeah.
I have that. My wife
Mhm.
doesn't have that, but I am one of those people that will jump. Not crazy to where the whole row shakes, but I fall for the little director scheme. And even though it's coming, you're like, there's going to be a jump scene
Uh-huh.
here. Yep, there it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. What's
Uh,
your favorite or the best jump scare of all times? I have one.
Let me hear it.
Exorcist III, that scene in the hallway with the
Oh,
shape.
that's a good one.
That's it works every
That
single
yeah,
time.
that
Still,
just I just got goosebumps thinking about it. That's a great scene. That's a great
yeah,
movie.
I love it. I
Um,
love it. For
yeah,
a sequel, it's you know, it's not as it's not different from the original, of course,
Well,
but
yeah, it took on its own thing, and that's what made it cool.
yeah, and Brad Dourif is in it, and George C. Scott. A lot of even I cannot remember his name, but the Father Karras.
Hmm.
Jason Miller, I think is him. I love Exorcist III, but it's a shame that after that, they tried to do kind of sequels and didn't work out.
Well, then, yeah, then it becomes, it's not a good cast. It's just people pumping out movies, kind of like, the Nightmare on Elm Street 20 and the Friday the 13th 22. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just they
yeah.
make too many of them.
So, what's your favorite sequel of all times?
Man, that's not a bad one. Um, Favorite sequel of all time.
But, hmm?
I will give credit to um, the Thing.
Oh,
That's actually a prequel.
oh yeah, that was well made, and I agree with you. It was even though there's CGI in it and there's some practical as well, but the way uh, there was no way to do a sequel, so a prequel. You want to know what were those guys running with that dog?
Yeah, and the way it meshes with the original, not the original, but the
Yep,
original we're talking about from like 82.
the
The way it
Carpenter one. Yeah,
Yeah, the way it works into that one is pretty priceless.
yeah, I totally agree. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in it, and she's great, and they kind of nailed the tone as well. So I do have to rewatch that, but the original, the Carpenter version is for me one of the awesomest movie of all time. With
Oh, it's
special
great. I
effects.
remember when I went to the movies,
Oh yeah,
and
in theaters, you
yeah,
saw it
I,
in
I remember
theaters.
I remember when I was a teenager and I went to see that, and the only seats were in the front row. So, you're just basically looking up at a wall.
Oh, intense. And you never saw anything like that before.
Oh no, no, that was some heavy shit.
So what's your favorite movie with SFX? That's one of the big ones, but with a lot of effects, of course, practical.
Um, one of my favorites that a lot of people think is a stinker is Event Horizon.
Oh, I don't think it's a stinker. I think it's Paul W.S. Anderson's finest.
I love that movie. I watch it all the time. That
And
used to be when we used to take DVDs on the bus. That used to
yep.
be a bus staple.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I if I can I remember right, it was along the lines of Hellraiser in some ways, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I can see that.
Hmm. I know you're a fan of Hellraiser 3.
That was my favorite one
Why?
because it's what I want Hellraiser 1 to be.
Oh yeah,
Hellraiser 1 is cool. I like it, but I wasn't looking for a psychological movie
drama. It's a
when that
drama.
came out, because I remember the byline was, "We'll tear your soul apart." And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Fuck yeah, let's go see that." And it never
Yeah.
really happens. You see some skin people, you
Uh-huh.
see Pinhead being, you know, all
Barely there.
well, yeah, and he's mentally challenging people, to
Yeah.
where in Hellraiser 3, it's what I expected Hellraiser 1 to be.
Yeah, the third one with that Motorhead song as well. And that was kind of
Yeah, and
metal.
he's just wreaking havoc, which I thought the first one would be.
Yeah. Pretty much like Freddy in the second one.
Yeah.
Do you have Nightmare on Elm Street? It turns 40 this year. Wes Craven New Nightmare 30. Do you have a favorite sequel of that franchise?
Not really, because the first one was so good.
I know, I know.
And you look back now, and yeah, those special effects aren't that rad, but when I saw that in the theater, like when his arms are extending in the
Oh
in
yeah.
the alleyway to hit the
Mhm.
garage doors, that was some scary shit.
Oh man, yeah. And the genius of that, concept was you ease in your nightmares. So you go home and you don't want to go to sleep because he's haunting you.
Yeah,
It's
and he kept hurting himself to show them what he could do to them. Like he'd pull his shirt up and cut his guts
yeah,
open, and
yeah,
he'd rip his face off, but the teen would
yeah.
hold his face, and his face would come off. That was some heavy shit.
And he was, cutting his finger off, and
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And then, after a few films, he became a one-liner guy, and he was still, close to my heart with SFX, and those dream sequences were awesome. But that was you just kept watching those sequels by habit more than anything,
Oh,
because
for sure. You got to see in case something rad happens.
Exactly. In case just a great kill happens, like in the third one. I remember that guy, the sleepwalker with, he's kind of, his arm ripped off and like some kind of a puppet. You remember that scene?
I did like the third one,
Yeah.
but after that, it kind of became, what they all become.
Did you like Wes Craven's New Nightmare? That meta
I saw it, but I don't remember.
No. 1981. That was a huge year for you because you started Slayer, and but for slasher films in 81, like almost 100 that slasher came out. Uh, I don't know if you're that much of a geek like me, but do you know? You know which one is your favorite amongst all the slasher that came out in 1981? I can give you a few titles to help you
Yeah,
out.
yeah, do that. That'll help.
So Friday the 13th Part 2, Halloween Part 2, The Funhouse, The Prowler, The Burning, Graduation Day, Student Bodies, Final Exam, My Bloody Valentine from Canada, Happy
Was
Birthday
Student
to,
Bodies, was that the one that's kind of a comedy?
yeah, kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah. With the horse
parody.
head bookends.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm not picking that, but you said it, and I'm like, I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That was kind of funny. Yeah, it was almost a National Lampoon film. Happy Birthday to Me, and the list goes on.
Um, say the original four. Say the first four you told me.
Friday 13 Part 2, Halloween
Yep.
2, The Funhouse, The Prowler, The Burning.
What's the third one? The Funhouse.
Yeah,
I don't remember that version. I saw one recently, but I know it's not from '81.
the
Uh,
Funhouse, that's the Toby Hooper one with there's a Funhouse. It's almost like the House of 1,000 Corpses with Captain Spaulding, and
mhm.
there's a kind of a mutant hidden somewhere in that Funhouse, and it's pretty cool. It's scary. It's like kind of a sideshow thing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
cool.
sure I've seen it, but just just because I know I saw it and I know I liked it, I'm going with Halloween too.
Oh yeah. But Carpenter, he he kind of retcon it. It's funny because
Yeah, I like the Halloween franchise. I like Mike Myers. Um, I was really bummed when the third one came out and he wasn't in it.
but they should have just take out the number three, like Halloween Presents Season of the Witch, and then people wouldn't have expected Michael Meyer to be in it because it's pretty good. It's a
Yeah,
good film, but
I know. I got to go back and watch it again. Somebody else told me, and I remember I was so jaded about there. There was a song in it that I hated, and
oh yeah,
Michael Myers wasn't in it, and I hated
which song? I cannot
it.
remember.
Silver Shamrock,
Oh,
Happy
oh
Happy
yeah.
Halloween.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of um a earworm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hypnotic kind of
hmm
presentation, but I had enough.
Yeah. Of course, hell, Satan, all that shit, inspired you over the years. Do you have a favorite satanic or occult film?
Um,
Of course, we talked about Exorcist 3.
yeah, Exorcist one and three are fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh,
Second one's a bit boring.
the Omen III is a great movie.
Actually, I only saw the first one, which I absolutely love, but the third one, the one with Sam Neill,
Yeah,
it's great. That's what I
yeah.
heard.
Well, it was when it came out.
Yeah.
I saw it somewhat recently and I liked it, but sometimes things lose their value with time. But I always dug that movie.
hmm
Final Conflict.
Yeah. I have to see the whole thing
Yeah,
because there's a new one, the Omen, kind of the first Omen. Did you saw that?
I did. Yeah, they did a good job. I
Oh
liked it.
yeah. That's what I heard. I heard it's good.
To where the one that came out 6606, I thought that was okay.
Oh yeah. So is that a genre that you still care about? You saw the most recent Omen, but are you seek satanic flick or just when it come out when it comes your way you watch it, but you don't you do you seek it?
Yeah, I'm totally into it. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't seen Terrifier 3 yet when I was such a advocate of the first one when it came out, but
Oh yeah.
it just hasn't played out for me to have seen it yet. Hopefully I get to see it before I go to Australia, but I have every intention of watching it. I've just been too busy.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that you're still into because people when they grow older, they keep watching or listening to the old stuff all the time and they forget about the new stuff. But you seems to be still, hungry for horror.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have no intention of growing up.
That's me either. But or my body tells me that I'm growing old, but I don't want to listen. Do you have a favorite horror filmmaker? A few last questions.
Filmmaker.
Yeah. Do
I don't
you
know, man.
follow the career of some filmmakers or not
I
really?
mean, John Carpenter's had quite a career for a long time. Like
John
he
Carpenter.
did cool shit a long time ago, and he did
Oh yeah.
cool shit more recently. So I think that's important to where some people
Hmm.
have their heyday, and that's cool. But
Hmm.
I don't think it's important as somebody like John Carpenter who still does that shit.
Have you had the pleasure of seeing him playing music live? And if he does, play again, because he keeps putting out records. The fourth Lost Themes record is killer. It got some more guitars on it, it's almost rock, and it's pretty awesome. I don't know if he's gonna tour again, but I caught him in 2017. It was amazing. So if you have the chance, go see him live. It's amazing.
Yeah, totally. Sounds awesome.
Um, my few two last questions will be, do you have a favorite horror franchise? You mentioned Halloween.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that my
No.
favorite franchise because they always at some point let you down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Um, I'll go in a different direction because I like the concept. And I think I could go two ways, but I think the one that's more relevant is Final Destination.
I like it.
It's, they all had some really unique, well thought out killing.
Yeah. And in addition to that, the kills is the main reason you watch those flicks, but the characters, they were kind of likable and well played. And but the thing that there's no killer, it's awesome.
Yeah, and to a lesser extent for me, the Saw franchise, because Saw just made too many movies.
I
But
know.
the original idea was incredible.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I totally agree. The first one, I loved it. The concept, James Wan, he's awesome. He creates great horror nowadays. But that was the slasher of that era. One every year, and it's like the Sausage Factory. It's like too many sometimes.
Yeah. It was killer. And
Mm,
I still, if they put them out, I'll still watch it and hope I get something
yeah,
worthwhile out of it. Um, but
we're
nothing like that first one has come out ever.
no, and we as horror fans, we were kind of masochists in the ways that we we endure. We know we will get hurt by how bad sometimes it is, but we still watch those sequels, requels, and remakes. And I know you're one of those that give remakes a chance in
Yeah, for sure.
your list that was.
Sometimes I won't, but I'm always open to where if one of my friends says, "Hey, you should check this out," you may not like the whole thing, but there's some parts you will, so I'll go check it out.
Mhm.
I definitely keep an open mind for them, but if I know it's gonna suck, I'll probably wait till it streams.
Yeah, exactly. Don't waste your money on that. And my favorite franchise of all time is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I've been let down so many times. But
Yeah, see, Final Destination's a better pick.
perhaps, perhaps because I liked most of, the Final French. I think I like them all. It's like there are five. There's five of those, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Good job. And that's the hardest question would be what's your favorite horror movie? But I know it can change, every month or so, but
Yeah, I
do you
mean,
have a favorite one?
historically, I would say The Thing.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the Kurt Russell one.
Yeah.
It's so priceless. It's perfect. There's nothing
What
wrong with that movie.
yeah, what may make it so great to you aside from the SFX?
Oh yeah. I mean, and you look at that now, and some of them are marginal. But when it came out in '82, I believe,
Hmm.
um, it was state of the art special effects, and I've always been a Kurt Russell fan who
Oh yeah.
doesn't usually do horror, so that was
Right.
a interesting role for him, and the cast was great.
Awesome.
Um, I think what was his sidekick, Keith David or David Keith?
Yeah.
I always get
Yeah,
his
yeah.
name backwards. I
Yeah,
always get his
yeah.
name backwards just because they're both first names and it fucks me up. Um,
But yeah, he was
but
totally
the
great in it.
cast was killer,
Mhm.
the concept was killer, and it was executed great.
Yeah, and Keith Davis, Keith David, yeah, he's in They Live too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They
Him
Live.
and him and Roddy, him and Hot Rod.
That fight scene. That's
Oh, I
that's.
love that movie. That movie's fucking priceless.
I could talk about the great John Carpenter, all day, but I'll let you go to what your business finish your. I know, I'll let you go. That's what I mean. And I want to thank you for your great conversation about your music and horror. And I'll see you in Montreal next year.
Cool, man. Can't wait.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Cheers.
guys.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you, Christophe, as always.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.